Hello guys, and welcome to my brand new series, English Basics. This is where I take you step by step through the most important parts of English so that you can understand the foundations, the very basics. Today we're looking at the present simple, and I'm going to show you how it works and how you can use it in your English. I can't wait to show you guys, so if you're ready, let's get going. Hello and welcome to Eat, Sleep, Dream English. My name is Tom and I'm going to take you through the present simple tense. Now you probably already know some things about the present simple, but I'm going to show you 5 ways that we can use the present simple, and I'm going to give you a quiz at the end to test your skills. So let's start off. The first use of the present simple is for things that are always true. So for example, 2 and 2 make 4. The verb there is make. That's the present simple. And we use the present simple there because it's always true. 2 and 2 is always 4. It's never not 4. So we use the present simple. Another example, water freezes at 0 degrees. Water freezes at 0 degrees. The verb freezes there because it's always true. It's a fact. Now don't worry too much about the S's that I've used in those verbs. We're going to talk about those later on in the video. But let's go to our second use of the present simple. And this is for permanent things, things in general. So for example, I live in London. I live in London. The verb live, because it's permanent. This is what I do. It's not one day, it's every day. I do this. I live in London. Another example, I have a dog. I have a dog. So this is a permanent situation. I have a dog. The verb have there. Our third use of the present simple is for habits, for repeated actions, things that we do frequently. So for example, I play football every weekend. I play football every weekend. So the verb there is play. I play. And I don't just do it once, I do it repeatedly, every weekend. So we're using the present simple there to show that it's a repeated action, that it's a habit of mine. Our fourth use of the present simple is for giving instructions or for a series of events. So for example, if I'm telling you how to cook a meal, I might say first, I cut the onions and then I put them in a bowl. So the verb there is cut, that's in the present simple, and put, also in the present simple. And it's giving you instructions to do something. We could also use it in a series of events. So if you're watching a football match, you might hear the commentator say, Messi passes to Harry Kane, who shoots at the goal. Okay, so we've got pass and shoot. So those are the present tense verbs, and it's a series of events in the present tense. Now, what I like is that maybe Lionel Messi is playing for Tottenham Hotspur in that sentence. That's nice. Okay, and our fifth use of the present simple is for future timetabled events. So this is for things like trains and buses and aeroplanes and classes and films. So when these things start, we can use the present tense. So for example, the bus leaves at 10 o'clock. The bus leaves at 10 o'clock. It's a scheduled event that's happening in the future. We could say the class begins at 9 o'clock. The class begins at 9 o'clock. Again, it's a scheduled event that's happening in the future. We know, we can look at the schedule and see, okay, the class, 9 o'clock. So as you can see, there are 5 different uses of the present tense. Let's go through them again. So number 1, it was things that are always true, or facts. Number 2 was things in general, or permanent situations. Number 3 was habits, or repeated actions. Number 4 was to give instructions, or for a series of events in the present. And number 5 was future timetabled events. So now we know when we can use the present simple. Let's look at the actual words themselves and how we construct the present simple. So let's start with the verb go. Let's take the verb go. So it's I go, you go, and then it changes. He, she, or it goes. So we add es. Now that's the only change, because the rest of it, we go and they go. So it's go all the way through except for the third person singular. He, she, it goes. We add es just there. Let's take another verb. Work. Let's take the verb work. I work, you work, he, she, it works. So we add the s onto the end of the verb. We work, they work. Okay, so can you see the pattern here? On the third person singular, we add an es if it's an o, or just an s for most verbs. Let's look at another one with o. So I do, you do, he, she, it does with the es. We do, they do. All right, now there's one that's slightly different, and that's the verb to be. So I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, they are. So that's the only one that's completely different. But the rest of them, they all follow the same pattern, where they're the same except for that third person singular. Okay, so we've looked at when we use the present simple, and we've looked at what the verb looks like in the affirmative. Now let's look at the negative. Now what we need to do is we need to add either do or does, but in the negative form. So, in the affirmative, I would say I live in London. If I want to make that sentence negative, I would have to say I don't live in London. I don't live in London. I've added don't. So I don't live in London. You don't live in London. It's the same. Now, it's the third person singular. He doesn't live in London. Okay, so we're changing it. He doesn't live in London. We don't live in London. They don't live in London. So the only difference is that third person singular, it goes from don't to doesn't. Okay, so let's put this into another example. I don't like chocolate. I don't like chocolate. You don't like chocolate. You don't like chocolate. Let's put it into he, she, or it. Let's take she. She doesn't like chocolate. Okay, so we're changing that to doesn't. We don't like chocolate. They don't like chocolate. So you can see how the negative works there. We just need to add don't or doesn't. Okay, so now we've looked at the negative form. Let's move to the question form. Now we're going to need do or does again. And we're going to put it at the beginning of the sentence. So my example sentence, do you live in London? Do you live in London? Let's look at the word order. We've got do, and then the subject, then the verb, and then the complement, the rest of the question. So do you live is the verb, and then in London is the rest. So let's change it. Let's play with this. What do we have? Does she live in London? Does she live in London? So now, because it's she is the subject, that's the third person singular, we need to use does. So does she live in London? So for all the subjects, I, you, we, they, we're using do. But for he, she, it, does. Does she go to university? Does she go to university? So does is the auxiliary verb, she is the subject, go is the verb, and then university is the complement. Let's try another sentence. Do we have any milk in the fridge? Do we have any milk in the fridge? Okay, so auxiliary verb, do, then we is the subject, have is the verb, and then the complement, any milk in the fridge, it's whatever. So do we have any milk in the fridge? So if we want to make a question in the present simple, we add do or does. Now, all these questions are answered with either yes or no. All right, so do you live in London? Yes, I do. Do you like chocolate? No, I don't. If we want to ask other questions, for example, when or where or why, we need to add question words. Now, I'm going to go into those questions in another video because we need to have more time to look at those. But for today, we've looked at do and does in the present simple to make present simple questions. All right, before we do our quiz, let's review what we've learned. So we've learned the 5 ways that we can use the present simple. We've also looked at how to form the present simple in the affirmative and in the negative, and we've also learned how to make questions in the present tense. So now it's time for a quiz. If you're ready, good luck. How was that? Did you do well? If you did, well done, congratulations. If not, then you can go back to the beginning of the video, re-watch it, take a bit more time, and then when you're ready, you can have another go. As I said, this is the first video in my new English Basics series. Keep your eyes open for the next video. It's coming really soon. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please give this a big thumbs up. This is Tom, the Chief Dreamer, saying goodbye.